Welcome back, guys, for another round. K3167 here. We're going back into this project tonight. We are sewing Kwik K3167, which is this really cute lingerie pattern here. We're doing this just in time for Valentine's Day. So we're actually going to start sewing tonight, which is going to be fun. So I'm going to get started on threading my machine. But before I do that, I'm actually going to switch the needle out. Because I'm sewing some stretch fabric, so I'm going to switch in and put in a stretch needle on my machine. Unscrew this. I have never changed the needle on this machine before because I literally just got it a few weeks ago. Hi, thanks for coming through. I'm just swapping the needle on my machine so that I can put in a stretch needle, because when you're working with stretch fabrics, you want to make sure that you're using the proper needle for it, just to ensure that like your fabric doesn't get caught up in your feed dogs, because that happens very commonly when you're not using the correct needle for the fabric that you're working with. So I'm just going to swap this out, and then we'll get started on threading the needle so we can get started on sewing. How was your day? How are you today? Was able to catch the stream. A little tough for me to on the West Coast. Oh wow! Thank you so much for coming through. I really do appreciate it. But you hope you're able to catch at least some streams every week. Thank you. And don't forget, these streams are the replay is always live afterwards, so you can always come back and like watch this even after the stream. But I'm really, really excited to have you here. Thank you. Where is my little gear thing? Okay, here we go. Oh, before I forget, I actually need to thread the bobbin for this. So let's do that now. I'm using a brown thread to match the brown fabric that I'm working with tonight. Okay, here we go. Press your foot. Get this threaded so we can get it started. This top is going to be really cute. Yeah, I'm really excited to make it. I've been on a lingerie kick. If you've been like following my Instagram and like watching my stories, I've been making like really cute pieces of lingerie, and I decided that I'm gonna make something cute for Valentine's Day. Does this pattern require breast cups? No, it actually doesn't, which is the reason why I wanted to try it out, because I figured, okay, it doesn't really require anything special, so it shouldn't be too hard. I will eventually try to make a garment that has breast cups, just because I feel like that's something that I need to learn how to use eventually, but I'm not there yet. So no, this pattern does not call for that. Really happy about that. This pattern is it's from a brand that's called Kwik. Kwik is now owned by McCall's Patterns, but once upon a time it was its own company, and the basis of their patterns were to be things that you could make in like an afternoon or less. Hence the name Kwik. So it's something you could just easily put together in like no time at all. And thank goodness for like these patterns, since I think these patterns will probably be a great introduction to like lingerie making. So I'm just gonna threading the needles at the hardest. Huzzah, got it. Okay, needle is threaded. Thank you, excited to see how the set comes out. Thank you so much for coming through, Happy Bun Bun. Yeah, I'm really excited too. I don't think it's gonna be too hard. I seen so many reviews for this pattern, and everything that like people have made with this pattern so far, everything comes out beautiful. So I'm hoping that I have the same luck. I'm gonna get started on the top first. So here's the instructions for. Okay. So to start with the top, which is the broad piece, I'm gonna need pieces 3. So these 2 pieces here, and then I'm gonna need piece 2. So I'm gonna be working with pieces 2 and 3 for right now. So I'll just move everything else out of the way. And let's just take a look at what the instructions want us to do here. So stitch front cups to side cups, right sides together at center cups. Okay, that's easy enough. So I'm gonna form this shape for you guys on camera so you can see how I want to do it. I'm using Wonder Clips just because this lacy material is just not going to hold pins well. Pins will just kind of slip right through it. So I'm going to use some of these Wonder Clips to hold these in place. So I have 2 pieces, piece 2, and then 2 pieces, piece 3. I'm going to need to invest in a bigger table eventually. Okay, so let's pin them together at center plus yes. Okay. Okay, so basically what I did was I pinned the bust pieces together at the center seam. So I'm just going to sew down this side here. But before I do that, I'm actually going to repeat the same thing for the other part. So that way we have 2 of these to get done faster. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. And then, yeah, that's all it wants us to do. So I'm just going to take a little bit of fabric and just lost my instructions. I'm just going to take a little bit of fabric just to see how this comes out because I don't want to risk ruining any of these. Have you decided on your next cosplay yet? You know, actually, I haven't. I haven't. I've been thinking about it though, but I haven't decided on what I'm doing next. I just finished like Wonder Woman on Monday, so okay, I'm gonna speed up this. Okay, good and bad thing. Good is that the stitch looks secure. Bad is that I can't really see it because the fabric matches so well, but I think the stitch looks good. That's great. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and sew these cup pieces here. So we can get through that. I'm going to go very slowly here. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making it. It was really fun. Wasn't fun to wear though because it was really cold outside, but I hope to like be able to go back outside and shoot it when it's not as windy. Okay, so we got one down. So here's what it looks like. So we got one bra cup thingy going on, and now we're gonna do the other one. And then I'll go and fish my instructions from the floor, and then we'll continue with the next step for this. All right, so now we have both pieces done. Here's what it looks like. The other one here. Okay, so now we have two of these pieces. So I'm just gonna move my wonder clips away for right now. I'm gonna figure out what my instructions are. I'm still not polished when I do this, guys. Constantly losing stuff. But that's fine. This is what it's like when I'm sewing, dropping things. So now that we've sewn these two bra cups together, it's really nice. Let's see what else. So 2 rows of easing stitches. Like place right cup over left cup, matching center notches, and stitch close to edge. Okay. So now, what it wants us to do, it wants us to put the right cup in front of the left cup. Okay. All right. So what it wants us to do now is to kind of sew these two pieces together in the front. Just gonna check the width on that one more time because I'm a little unsure about this part. No, okay, that's what it says to do. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna trust the process here. I'm gonna move back. Okay. So, all right, so here's what we've got. Here's what they wanted us to do. Doesn't look bad. It looks weird right now, but this is some really stretchy lace material, so it's gonna fit. I know sometimes with working with stuff like this, it looks weird because it's like, wow, it looks really small, but it's gonna stretch and it's gonna be nice. Okay, so what is the next step? Okay, so 2 rows of easy stitches from the bottom edge. I'm not using a bottom lace, so I don't think I need to do that. So place right side of cups on wrong side of bodice, overlapping and matching center front notches. Okay, I see what they want us to do, but I'm not using a contrasting fabric for this. So I think I can pin this to the front band part without having to pin it to the wrong side. I'm talking to myself in front of you guys. But I think I can skip this step because the lace is all the same. So, okay, so first things first. Let's pin the middle of this. Okay, so now we know what, you know what? I'm gonna move all these off the table. I need as much space as I can get. We're not working. So, put you here. Moving things for the sake of space. Okay, so I've marked on the front band where the middle is. So what I'm gonna do now is lay this out and see if I can get away with just pinning this to the front and not having to do much else. Okay, so you know what, actually, I will just... So start from the beginning, because now I'm unsure. Okay, so this is the middle of the fabric. Got it. Figured it out. I don't know, guys. Sometimes when I'm making something, I get like in my own head, and I'm just like, wait, this doesn't look right. And then really, I'm just looking too hard at it. It's fine. Okay, so it's just pinned, but here's what it looks like. I hope that this makes sense to you guys. I don't know if it's translating like on camera, but like, do you guys see it? You guys see the shape? Like, I hope you guys can like see the shape and how this is like coming together and starting to make sense. I'm just going to put these pattern pieces back into the envelope. All right, so let's go ahead and sew the cups to the facing. Okay, so here's where we are. Here's how it's looking. This is it. So now, let's see where we need to go from here. Okay, so now it's actually time to fold it in half and then stitch the side seam. All right, so now we're gonna make like the top. So you guys see it coming together. Sorry if you can't see it. I'm trying my best to show it to you, but it'll make sense to you. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and sew this down the side. And guys, in the description box of this video and the last one is going to be links where you can find this pattern. It does not seem to be a hard pattern at all. So I feel like anybody can make this. There's no excuse for you guys not to try this pattern. I think anyone can do it. And also I'm making this video for you guys. So you guys come back later and watch it, okay? That's what this is here for. here's how it looks. So here's the front, and then here's the back. So now we have to do the straps. One. So we have both the straps here. So what I'm going to do now is just fold these over. I'm going to fold them right sides. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can fold these wrong side because the thread matches. Let's see. So heads up, if you were making straps out of a different material, you would fold the strap right sides together, sew through it, and then turn it inside out. But because I'm using a thread that so closely matches what the lace is made up of, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kind of go around that. Normally I wouldn't, but I think I can get away with it. Nobody else knows but us, so it's fine. It's looking really good. Thank you. I don't know why I was so intimidated by this pattern before. I was really like, I don't know. But then it's just like, if I don't try, then I'll never know. And if I try, then maybe I can teach somebody else, you know? Any special plans for Valentine's Day? I'm going to just order some food. Valentine's Day is on a Sunday, which is kind of whack. But I guess you can still celebrate that entire weekend, though, so it's not all bad. You got that. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start sewing this strap. And this is such a thin piece of fabric, guys, so I really got to take my time here. I'm just going to increase my stitch. So I don't know if you guys checked out my stories, but I did go looking for some patterns that I thought could be repurposed to like some alternative fashion pieces. So definitely go check out my stories. I did leave a couple of those patterns in there. I'm still looking for more. I haven't finished my search, but those were just some of the ones that I could think of off the top of my head. So hopefully they help you. Okay, so we got one strap done. I'm just gonna cut excess thread off of that. So now we're gonna start the other one. Okay, both straps are done now. Cutting off any strapping threads. Pretty sure I know how to attach these, but it doesn't hurt to look at the directions again. Okay, so what it wants us to do is turn this inside out. Okay, so here it is with the straps pinned. It's right side out right now, but that's fine. That's what they want us to do. Okay. Alright, so let's attach these straps. All right, so one side of strap is done. So now we're gonna move on to the other side. Sewing straps is such a simple thing to do, and yet I don't like doing that at all. I just don't like doing it. It's like my least favorite thing. And I don't know why, because it's super easy to do. I just don't like doing it. One last strap to go. Okay, so I've just put the straps on, so I'm just gonna go in and cut off all of the loose threads. Those are ugly. Alright guys, so this is it. So this is the top. Not sure about how these straps fit yet. I do have to try it on to see if I need to shorten or lengthen the straps, but here's how it looks. I'm really happy with it. I think it's really cute. I like this color choice. I feel like brown is like a little bit more mature. really excited to like wear this. So I obviously can't show you guys how it looks wearing it, but what I will do is after the stream is over, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my mannequin and then take a picture of it like that so you guys can like see how the top looks. But all right, so let's say this takes about an hour and a half. I mean, the lace that I used is easy to work with, and I cut out the pattern with you guys last night, and it's 7:41, and we just finished the top. So as you can see, this is not a hard pattern to work with at all. I think you could make a couple of these in like one afternoon or something. Like it's not going to take you that long. The one part that I am a little bit nervous about is the thong because it's been a very long time since I've made a thong, but we'll get through it. I'm really happy with how this like came out. This is super. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay, so let's see what the underwear is called. Okay, so we have to put the two crotch pieces we cut out together. So I'm gonna grab those. So these triangular pieces that I cut last night. So we have to put these together and then sew them at the center seam. So let's do that now. I did some research last night after we got off, guys, about like pattern ease. There's two different types of ease, which is design ease and wearing ease. But the ease that you're dealing with depends on the type of garment that you're making. So you have to take a look at if the garment is fitted or if it's a loose fit. And then you would make it based on like the design ease. Like I said last night, I really do suggest looking at the finished pattern measurements and then creating your garment based off of that. And I actually brought a project for you guys to see that we talked about last night, which is the Yaya Han bunny suit that I made. I'm going to show you guys that in a couple of minutes. What did she use the Yaya Han bunny suit pattern? Oh my god. I have to say like 2016, I feel like was when I first like started messing with it. That was a wild ride and it did not come out the way that like I thought it was going to come out. Yeah, that was a wild time. All right, well, it's 7:45. I feel like I've gotten as far as I can in this pattern for tonight, so let's do a little bit of a story time for you guys. pattern. So this is the bunny suit that like I made. This was made in like 2016. It's so old now. This is the bag. The zipper on this is broken because I recently tried to fit myself into this and it just did not work. So like this is the back and this is the front. I made like 3 mock-ups of this pattern, guys, before I just said, you know what, screw it. Like I'm gonna make something. I'm gonna do something. Oh my god, the colors. Thank you. Okay. So the original plan for this bunny suit was I wanted to do like a Pokemon, like Genjika, like a Ninetales, and so I thought, oh, what if I did like a bodysuit for it, and then like added the tails later or whatever. It's needless to say, it didn't work out. But when I made this pattern, this was at a time where I still didn't really understand. I didn't understand my own body measurements. So I didn't understand my bust measurements versus like my hips and my thighs. And those are 2 things that you need to know about for this pattern. You really need to know like your bust and your hip measurements, because what this pattern is, I had cut it out as, okay, my bust measurement says that I'm a size 12. So I'm going to cut out a size 12 for the entire thing. And that wasn't really smart because me being a size 12, you know, in the bust is completely different, you know, sizing for my hips and my thighs. And so I didn't take any of that into consideration when I was making this bunny suit. So let's go through all the things that's wrong with this bunny suit, because I'm not ashamed of it now. So for one, the crotch area. The pattern calls for the crotch area to not be sewn together, but rather to be clipped together. You know, if you ever clipped like a baby's onesie and there's like 2 clips in the crotch? So that's what you're supposed to have with this pattern too. 2016, me completely ignored that. I just went ahead and like sewed it shut, which I should not have done. So there's that. Yeah, like there's 2, I don't know how to, like 2 clasps. If you've ever like done like a baby's onesie, and you know that there's 2 little clasps at the crotch area, like where the diaper is, that's what you're supposed to use for this pattern here. I didn't do that. I just sewed the 2 pieces together because I did what I wanted to do, and I was just like, you know, this is too hard. I have no idea what this is. I'm just, yeah. What else? I didn't put the zipper in properly either. So the zipper that it calls for, so why was that bad though? It was bad because the way that I was supposed to, okay, so that's the thing. This, it's a corseted bunny suit. So there's boning in here. So if you know anything about a corset, is that a corset has negative ease. So it's supposed to be tight. So in order to comfortably, because you can still get in and out with the zipper, but you risk putting so much pressure on the zipper that it completely breaks, which is exactly what happened here. So I don't know if you guys can see, but the zipper piece is literally on one side of the garment, because by sewing this bottom part here shut, it put too much pressure on the zipper. And so when I was trying to get into it, the zipper broke. So that is the reason why this is not supposed to be sewn together. You're supposed to follow the way the pattern is telling you and do it the same way that you would do a baby's onesie. Yeah, because that's what I said. I was like, nah, I'm sewing the crotch closed. Why would I keep it open? This is the reason why you're supposed to keep it open. Additionally, this pattern calls for an invisible zipper. I hate sewing invisible zippers, so I decided to use a standard zipper. Now, whether I used an invisible zipper or a standard zipper wasn't gonna save this this costume in any way, because it was just not made correctly. So that's on me. Let's see what else. So this pattern calls for you to take your cup size into account when making it. I believe I went with a cup C, but because I didn't take into account my hips and my thigh measurements, because here's kind of the anatomy of the garment. Okay, so you have the top. So this is where your bust measurement matters most, in this area here. Now, for this area, this is where your waist measurement must be taken into account, because your waist is going to be in this area here. And then your hips, the width of your hips are going to be very important in determining your sizing here. So pattern sizing, when you see them on an envelope, they're not one size fits all, and you really, really need to know what your measurements are in all these places. You need to know your bust measurement, you need to know your waist measurement, and you need to know your hip measurements. If you do not understand those measurements, you will not be able to properly make this costume. You're just not going to be able to do it. I do have some photos of me wearing it. I can try to find some of those and post that in my stories. So that you guys can see like the fit and how badly the fit was. Oh, like the snaps? Yes, happy bun bun. Yeah, snaps is what you're supposed to use in the crotch. I'm gonna try to find some photos of you guys, of me wearing this, just so that you can see like how the fit was. So moving on, this pattern calls for a lining, and the way that the lining is to be done is the lining is to be sewn to the outside of the garment and then flipped inside. I didn't do that. And technically, with this type of garment, I don't have to. I could always do it the same way that I did it here, but then put some bias binding on the front to hide like the raw edges. But that's not the type of knowledge that I had when I first started to make this. So basically what I did was, to cover up these nasty raw edges on the outside, I basically just kind of like flipped the fabric over and then hemmed it to keep it on the inside. The only issue was is that if you got close to me while I was wearing this at a convention or whatever, you would be able to see like the stray threads at the top. I don't know if I can get you guys to see, but it's a little funky up here. Like there's like stray threads here. So there's that. What else do I have going on with this garment? Oh my gosh. So I didn't know anything about pattern adjustments. So like the interior seam, like there's just so much excess fabric inside of it. Just because like I would put it on and be like, oh, it's too big. And then I would just go over all of the seams and try to take in more and more and more of it. And it's just not possible to do that. So you really gotta like make the mock-up, however many mock-ups it takes to make it. You just have to do it so that you can ensure like the fit is the way that it needs to be before moving on to the next part. And I kept this costume because I didn't want to part with it, because it kind of shows me how far I've gone when it comes to my sewing journey. And I look at it and I can, now that I'm older and much more experienced, I can look at this garment and see exactly where I went wrong. Do I have the skills to fix it? That remains to be seen, because after this, I have not visited the pattern since then. I made this in 2016 and then I put the pattern down and I never came back to it again. This is like the most intimidating pattern that I've ever worked with. I'm very afraid to work with it again, but I think that it might be time for me to maybe probably start from scratch and literally order another pattern for this. I still have the one that I used for this one, but I'm pretty sure I cut it up in ways that it just doesn't make sense. So I think I'm gonna order a fresh pattern and then like maybe try again and see if I can get this right, because I really would like to try to use it again. I've seen a couple of people make this. Sinbon Quinzel is one of them, and she's a cosplayer that I look up to, and she was able to make this pattern just fine. And I remember asking her too when I first started to make this pattern, like, how did you get through this? And she gave me advice on how to make it, but the advice that she gave was so advanced that I did not understand what she was telling me at that time. So I might actually pop into her DMs and ask again. But I think I will try this pattern again. I made this pattern out of satin. Oh, fun fact. Another like rookie mistake. The lining that you see here, this was actually the mock-up. So I just decided to use the mock-up as the lining for it. So this little thing here has like so many faux pas with it. There's a lot of things that was just like, if the me today could see the me from back then making this, I would really just be like, girl, what are you doing? Like that, you have no business doing that. I really had no business touching this pattern, but I learned a lot from it. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the experience of attempting to make it. I think you can totally use a mock-up as lining. Yeah, you know what? You could, because I've done that before for like my very first corset that I made for a cosplay for Elizabeth from BioShock. I decided that the mock-up fit so well that I was going to use it as a lining. The issue that I had was this, is that when I made it, I already knew that the mock-up really didn't fit me the way that I wanted it to, but I did not have the knowledge necessary to make it fit. So I just really went ahead and created the whole thing already knowing that the fit was just off, but I didn't know how to make it right. So now that I'm more experienced, I think I will like eventually revisit this pattern. I don't know if I'm brave enough to revisit this pattern in a stream, but I will probably eventually get brave enough to revisit this pattern and see what I can create with it. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to hear or see any more of like some of my sewing fails. I think I may have one other project in my closet that didn't come out the way that it was supposed to because I didn't have the skills necessary for it. More than happy to share that with you guys so that you guys can see like I've made tons of mistakes on my sewing journey, but I get better with each time. So we are back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So meet me back here next Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. EST. If you can make it, I would be really, really excited to have you. If you can't, you can just come back and revisit the live replay and see all the cool stuff that you missed and whatnot later. But I really do appreciate you guys coming out. You guys could have gone on Twitch or anywhere else to watch another creator, but like you came here to chill with me. And that really does mean like so much to me, guys. You really have no idea. And like I could literally be over here talking to nobody, but you guys actually came here and like had a conversation with me, and I really do appreciate that. Like it really, really, really does mean a lot to me when I do this. So yeah, come back and come chill with me next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I'd be really happy to have you. For the rest of the weekend, I am making a dress for Valentine's Day. So if you keep your eyes on my Instagram stories, be sure to check out my stories. You'll be able to see the really cute dress that I'm working on. But for now, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for coming through, especially you, Novice. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you so much for coming through. I hope to have you again here next Tuesday. Thank you guys for the laughs and for the conversations, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.